So this is a common thing that can happen. You did a really good job blueprinting your exam, doing everything you should be doing, and then you find a few test items, be it within an OSCE station or on an MCQ, didn't work. So what do? So after an exam, you may discover the majority of class got a question wrong. Okay. This happens, and you're like, even a question you've used year and year again, and it tends to perform well, then all of a sudden 1 year they get a question wrong. It could just be the lecturer literally changed how they presented that material in a few words or how they emphasized it. This can happen. Another one, which is a little bit more complicated, I won't go into too much, but we often look at how stronger students overall at the end of a test, if they're more likely to get a question right than a weaker student, that's a positively discriminating item. This is a statistical term. Whereas if a weaker set of students is more likely to get a question right than the stronger, that sends a signal there might be something wrong with the question. Now, depending on how bad the above issues are, you can keep the question for this year, but flag it to revise for next year. Or in more extreme circumstances, you may have to remove it because it's not defensible to keep it. If you're unclear what to do with any of your exams, please feel free to contact me and I can walk you through some of the deeper logic behind this. The above decision, of course, will impact your cut score. So if you end up removing a lot of items that were hard, that's going to impact your cut score because you determine your cut score based on that. And so your cut score may actually go up. And vice versa is true. If you move a lot of options that were easy and that impact your cut score, then you probably have to reduce your cut score. That's why the ANGOF can be flexible, because you have that data, you can apply it right away. But one of the key points is you can't firmly tell the students the cut score ahead of time. You definitely cannot with borderline group or borderline regression in OSCEs because you have to run it at a station level. But with an MCQ, with an ANGOF, even an ANGOF that's done, weeks in advance, and you're pretty sure 62% is going to be the cut, there still has to be this caveat of, but it's subject to an error, plus or minus some amount. So, in summary, use an approach to determine the cut score, not just a random, I picked 60% because I like that number. And I've gone over a few approaches. Weigh the risks of inappropriately passing versus inappropriately failing. And you got to take into consideration your local context and resources. If you don't have a large test committee, you're not going to be able to do as robust an ANGOF as possible. If you don't have examiners in the room like in an OSCE, again, things like borderline group and regression are just not possible. So if you have any questions about this, feel free to email me at vdaniels@ualberta.ca.